kindergartners. I hope you guys are having a great day today. My name is Miss Schlor, and today we're going to be doing our last video with our Foundations Phonics. For today's video, you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil in order to do some of the activities. So you're going to need to go grab those materials now, or you can grab them when we start the activities when we need them. But when you start the videos, you're going to need these materials on every video, so it's just easier to grab them before you start. Today we're going to be practicing our letters and sounds. We're going to practice writing and skywriting our vowels, and then we're going to practice writing some sentences at the very end. So let's go ahead and get started right away today. The first thing we're doing is we're going to practice saying our letters and sounds. So I will say the letter keyword sound, and then I'll point at you, and that means that it's your turn to repeat after me. Y, yellow, yeah. R, rat, K, kite, k. L, lamp, ol. Q, queen, qua. O, octopus, ah. U, up, I, itch, I. A, apple, E, ed, eh. And those are all of our letters for today. I hope you guys were able to follow along and practice the letters and sounds with me. The next thing that we're going to do today is we're going to practice skywriting and writing our vowels. So we already learned how to do all of our uppercase letters, and the last ones that we need to do are our vowels. So A, E, I, O, and U. So how this will work is I will skywrite it first, and you're just going to watch and listen to me. Then we'll take our pencil and we will write it together on our board and on your paper. And then at the very end, we will skywrite the letter, and you will try and say the words along with the motions. So let's go ahead and get started. The first letter we're going to do is I, itch, it. Watch me first. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, cross on the skyline, cross on the grass line. I, itch, it. Great job. Let's take our pencils and write it together this time. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, cross it at the skyline, cross it at the grass line. I, itch, it. Okay, now let's take our super straight arms. Remember, we don't want any T-Rex arms because then it's hard to tell where we're pointing. So let's go ahead and skywrite the letter I. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, cross it at the skyline, cross it at the grass line. I, itch, it. Awesome job, my friends. Let's go ahead and erase our letter I. And the next letter that we're going to do is O, octopus, ah. Watch me first. Point to the skyline, trace back and then down and around to the grass line and back up to the skyline. O, octopus, ah. Okay, now let's take our pencils and write it together. Point to the skyline, trace back, then down and around the grass line and around back up to the skyline. O, octopus, ah. Great job. Let's take our super straight arms and write it together. Point to the skyline, trace back, then down and around to the grass line and back up to the skyline. O, octopus, ah. Awesome job, my friends. You guys are doing such a great job today. Let's go ahead and erase our letter O. And the next letter we're going to do is A, apple, A. Watch me first. Point to the skyline, slide back to the grass line, start back at the skyline, and slide down to the grass line, cross it at the plane line. A, apple, A. Let's take our pencils and write it together. Point to the skyline, slide back to the grass line, start back at the skyline, and slide down to the grass line, cross it at the plane line. A, apple, A. Great job. Let's go ahead and skywrite it now. Point to the skyline, slide back to the grass line, point to the skyline, slide to the grass line, cross it at the plane line. A, apple, A. Awesome job. Let's go ahead and erase our letter A. And we are going to do two more letters. The next letter is E, ed, E. Watch me first. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, make a line on the skyline, make a line on the plane line, and make a line on the grass line. E, ed, E. Okay, now let's take our pencils and write it together. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, make a line on the skyline, make a line on the plane line, make a line on the grass line. E, ed, E. Okay, now let's skywrite it. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, make a line on the skyline, make a line on the plane line, make a line on the grass line. E, ed, E. Great job. Let's go ahead and erase our letter E and do our last letter together, which is U, up, A. Watch me first. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, and curve up to the skyline. U, up, A. Okay, now let's take our pencils and write it together. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, and curve up to the skyline. U, up, A. Okay, we're going to skywrite one last time together. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, and curve up to the skyline. U, up, A. Awesome job, my friends. You guys did an amazing job skywriting today. Before we practice writing some sentences, we are going to play a game. And we've played this game one other time before, and it is called Mystery Bag. So I have a special bag right here full of 5 different things. And all of these things in here start with the same sound. So I'm going to pull out each thing, tell you what it is, and then your job by the time I pull out the last object is to guess what letter and sound all of these objects start with, okay? So they all are the same sound. So let me show you the objects. The first thing that I have is a card. I have a card. So I'm going to set that aside. I have 4 more things. The next thing that I have is a coat. I have a coat. So far I have a card and a coat. You're trying to find what sound they both all start with. The next thing I have is a can. So I have a card, a coat, and a can. The next thing that I have is a candle. I have a candle, a card, coat, can, and a candle. I have one more thing in my mystery bag today, And the very last thing that I have is a camera. Camera is the last thing. And now my mystery bag is empty. So I'm going to show you the things one more time and see if you can guess what letter they all start with. I have a camera, a candle, a can, a coat, and a card. Okay? Think of in your head what sound they all start with. Okay, did you guess it? The letter that my mystery bag had inside with all of the objects was the letter C, cat. K. All of my objects started with the K sound. You guys did an awesome job finding that out. Great job, my friends. The very last thing that we're going to do today is practice writing some sentences. So I'm going to move our board right here. Oh, and erase one of the other activities that we have done before in some of our other videos. And we are going to practice writing some sentences. So how this is going to work is we're going to do the first one together to practice. So our first sentence that we are going to write is Rob bit the fig. Rob bit the fig. Now I have some power words down here. I have the, a, is, and his. And these are here kind of like our word wall to help us quickly write our sentence. So we're going to write Rob bit the fig. Let's say it on our fingers to figure out how many words we need. Rob bit the fig. We need 4 lines for our 4 words. Rob bit the fig. Now let's try and write it. Rob is not a power word, so we need to tap that word out like we practiced yesterday. Rob, b, rob. Rob starts with the letter R, and because it's at the beginning of the sentence, we need to use a capital letter. Rob, b. Rob bit. Bit is not a power word that we have, so we need to tap that one out. B. I. Rob bit the. The is one of our power words. Do you see it? That's right, it's right here. So I can just copy that word because it's already there for me. Rob bit the fig. Fig is not a power word, so we need to tap that one out. Ig. Fig is our word. Now we're going to reread our sentence to see if we wrote it the way we want it. Rob bit the fig. I think we got it right. That fig was our last word, so we have a period at the end that tells us to stop. Awesome job writing it, my friends. Let's go ahead and erase that sentence. And the next sentence you're going to try on your own. So we'll say it across our fingers, figure out how many words it is, and then I'm going to give you a chance to try and write it, and then we'll do it together. Our next sentence is Nat is sad. Nat is sad. Let's say it on our fingers. Nat is sad. We need 3 lines for the 3 words. Nat is sad. And a period at the end that tells us to stop. Now I want you to try and write it on your own. Nat is sad. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to just get started. Go ahead. Okay, that was about 30 seconds. Let's write it together now and see how much you were able to do. So we're writing Nat is sad. Our first word is gnat. Gnat is not a power word, so we have to tap that one out. At. Remember, we start our sentence with a capital letter. At. Nat is a power word, so we can just copy it. Is sad. Sad is not a power word, so we have to tap that one out. Sad. Sad. Ad. Sad. Now let's reread it and see if we got it right. Nat is sad. That sounds exactly what we were trying to write. Awesome job, my friends. And in the back, I see we have a little visitor. That is my cat, and she likes to be in the videos sometimes. So I wonder if you were able to see her while we were making our sentence. Okay, I'm going to give you one more sentence that you can do when the video ends, and you can have your mom or your dad or an older sibling or whoever is at home with you check that sentence for you at the end or when you're finished with it. So you're going to practice. And if you would like to continue to practice writing sentences, ask your mom or dad or whoever is at home to give you some words or a sentence to write. So remember, you'll say it aloud, say it on your fingers to figure out how many lines you need, and then you're going to figure out if it's a power word or if it's a word you need to tap out for each one. And then remember, when we're done, we always reread our writing to make sure it says exactly what we want it to. That is all of the activities that I have for today. So here is your last sentence, and then we will say goodbye. Your last sentence is the rat had a nap. The rat had a nap. I'm going to say it one more time. The rat had a nap. Okay, good luck with that, you guys. I will see you in tomorrow's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!
Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Zhang. I am a kindergarten teacher at Silver Lake Elementary School here in Federal Way. I am here to do a kindergarten math lesson with you all. So we're going to do a couple activities, a couple lessons. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, boys and girls, let's jump into our calendar talk for today. I am going to share our screen so you will see our lovely calendar. Again, it is our new month of August that we started this week. It is new to us. It is the month of August, and that's actually the 8th month. So if you look over here and you count how many months we've gone through, we've already gone through January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. August is the 8th month of the year. Whew. All right. And so yesterday, if you remember, it was Tuesday. And today, what comes after Tuesday? After Tuesday comes Wednesday. So we are on a Wednesday, and if we follow that Wednesday down, we're going to be in the first week of August still. So it is the 5th. Wednesday, August 5th. Nice job. So look, if we look in front of Wednesday, it's Tuesday. That was yesterday. And if we look after Wednesday, that's what I'm trying to say. After Wednesday, it is what day of the week? After Wednesday comes the Thursday. So that is tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. Awesome job. So Wednesday, August 5th. Thank you for following along with our calendar talk for today. All right, boys and girls, before we get into our lesson, I thought it'd be fun to do a quick little game of Simon Says, or a quick little game of Teacher Says. So remember, and now, whoa, can't talk, but remember, in order to play Simon Says, you have to listen really carefully for me to say Simon Says first before I give an action. So for example, if I were to say, Simon says, touch your nose, you could go ahead and touch your nose. But if I said, touch your ear, if you touch your ear, that means you're out, okay? So it's really important that you're listening. I'm gonna do some fun ones where I'm gonna ask you to hold up a certain number of fingers and maybe put one down or add a finger or something like that. So let's go ahead and get started. Simon says, touch your head. Simon says, touch your nose. Simon says, touch your shoulder. Touch your head. Did I get anyone? I didn't say Simon says in that last one. So if you touched your head, you weren't listening to Simon. All right, let's do another one. Simon says, hold up 2 fingers. Simon says, put down 1 finger. Simon says, touch an elbow. Simon says, hold up 5 fingers. Put 1 down. Did I get anyone? Did I trick anyone? I didn't say Simon says to put 1 finger down. So listen really carefully. All right, I think we might have time for one more, okay? So Simon says, touch your nose. Simon says, touch your head. Simon says, touch your ears. Simon says, hold up 6 fingers, however you want. Simon says, hold up 10 fingers. Simon says, touch your belly. Can't really see me doing it, but I am. Simon says, touch your shoulders. Touch your nose. I didn't say Simon says at the end. So I hope you had a lot of fun playing along with us. That's definitely something you can play at home with your friends or your family. Yeah, but keep listening, making sure that's a great way to practice your listening skills. All right, thank you for following along. All right, scholars, let's begin our lesson with our learning target. Please read it and follow along with me as I share it. All right. Learning target. I can match 2 numbers together to make 10. So what we're going to be doing is we're matching 2 numbers that make 10. This is going to be a little bit different, because I used to do this game with my students called Match to Make 10, where we would match 10 frames, dots within a 10 frame, and we were trying to find pairs that would make 10 together. Okay, so for example, let me draw a quick 10 frame. If I had a 10 frame like that, oh, it's a little messy, but that's okay. And it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots in it. I will be looking for a matching 10 frame, or not a matching 10 frame, but a 10 frame where when we count all the dots together, it's 10 dots total. So maybe you already know the matching pair for 5 to make 10. 5 and what makes 10? Hopefully you know 5 and 5 makes 10. So in this case, these two pairs, this one and this one, would be a match because together they make 10. That kind of hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. We're going to meet our learning target by playing this game. Okay, so we'll do the first one together. So I have a big 10 frame at the top that is in this purple box. This is the one that we are trying to match. So the one that's in the colored box is the one that we're trying to match. So the first thing I am going to do is count how many dots are in the 10 frame that I'm trying to match. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 dots in this 10 frame that we're trying to match. And now I have to think, 7 and what makes 10? 7 and what makes 10? If I don't know, there's a couple things I can do, right? 7 and what? So one thing I can do is I can count up until I get to 10 using my fingers, and I will count how many fingers I have. So let me show you. So 7, and I count up. After 7 comes 8, 9, 10. How many fingers do I have up now? 3. So this tells me 7 and 3 makes 10. So that's one way you can do it. Another way is if you have a good understanding of 10 frames, you know that when all of the dots, all of the circle, goodness, all of the spots in a 10 frame are filled, that means that there's 10 in it. So I could find the missing part by counting how many empty spots I have in my 10 frame. So this would be 1, 2, 3. So that tells me 7 and 3 makes 10. So that's another way to figure it out. All right, so we've already figured out that we're looking for 3, a 10 frame that has 3. So go ahead and take some time, look for the 10 frame that has 3 dots in it. All right, hopefully you found this one down here. So that is our match. So going back to our learning target, I can match 2 numbers together to make 10. All right, so that is what we were aiming to do. In this case, we've matched 7 and 3. And together that makes 10. All right, so let's go ahead and get started for this next one. I'm not going to say anything. It's your turn to figure out the match by yourself, okay? Go ahead and go. All right, did you find a match? Did you find the matching frame? All right, let's see. How many dots are in our top 10 frame? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Maybe you already know this off the top of your head. 9 and what makes 10? 9 and, let's see, I like to count up. 9, 10, and that I put one finger up, so that tells me 9 and 1 makes 10. So I'm looking for a 10 frame that has 1 in it, and this is that 10 frame. Or you could have done what? You could have counted 1 empty spot right there, and you would have known that you're looking for 1. All right, nice job. So our combo here is 9 and 1 makes 10. Great job, friends. Let's move on to this next one and go ahead and go. See if you can find the matching 10 frame to make 10. All right, did you find a matching 10 frame? Let's see. I can see already that there are 6 dots in this top 10 frame. There's 3 up here and 3 up here, and together that makes 6. So I'm looking for how another 10 frame that has how many in it. 6 and what makes 10? I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 empty spots in my 10 frame. So that kind of tells me 6 and 4 makes 10. So I'm looking for 10, or I'm looking for 10. I'm looking for a 10 frame that has 4 in it. And I found that 10 frame. Did you also find that 10 frame to be a match? Nice job if you were able to. Way to find, way to match 2 numbers to make 10. So in this case, we have 6 and 4 makes 10. Great job. Let's move on to this one. All right, do the same thing as before. Find the missing, or match the 10 frames to make 10. All right, which 10 frame did you get? Or what are the 2 numbers that make up 10? First, let's count how many dots are in this 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then I can think to myself, 8 and what makes 10? Or I can count how many blank spots there are, or I can count up. Let's count up this time. So 8, after 8 comes 9 and 10. So I'm trying to get to 10. How many fingers do I have up? 2. So hopefully you figured out 8 and 2 make 10. So which one of these 10 frames down here has a 2 in it? Hopefully you found this one over here. And you can kind of see, you can kind of visualize how nicely these two dots would fit so nicely into this right here. So this tells us 8 and 2 make 10. Great job. Let's see. I think we have time for one more. Ooh, this one's a little tricky one. I threw this in here to see if you would get it. But see if you could find the 2 10 frames that would match together to make 10. All right. What do you think? This one's a little tricky because how many dots are in this top 10 frame? 0, right? 0. So 0 and what makes 10? Remember, I don't want you to forget about 0 and using 0 as a pair, or as one of the numbers in a pair. So let's think about this. How many empty spots are in my 10 frame? All of them are empty. So that's 10 empty spots. So what am I looking for? 0 and 10 makes 10. So I'm looking for a 10 frame that has 10 in it. And if you know anything about 10 frames, you know if it's completely filled, then that's 10 dots. And I'm looking for a completely filled one down here. So our 2 numbers that make up 10 would be 0 and 10. Pretty cool. 0 and 10. All right. A nice job following along with our lesson. Remember, our lesson was mashing two numbers together to make 10. We did that in the form of a 10 frame, so I did a little switch. But if you were able to find matches on this during this activity, you met our learning target. So awesome job. Continue practicing this. Great variation of this is if you have a deck of cards, you could go through the deck of cards and try to match up numbers to make 10, or a deck of Uno cards. That's a great way to practice. But yeah, thank you so much for following along. I hope to see you tomorrow at our next kindergarten math lesson. Bye, everyone.
Hola niñas y niños, ¿cómo están? Qué gusto verlos otra vez. Bienvenidos a nuestro tercer día de aprendizaje. ¿Recuerdan? Lunes fue nuestro primer día, martes nuestro segundo y hoy nuestro tercer día de aprendizaje. de matemáticas en español. Como todos los días vamos a comenzar con nuestro calendario y antes les recuerdo que necesitan papel y lápiz para practicar nuestros números, poder escribirlos o una pizarrita y un marcador para que practiquen conmigo. ¿Están listos? Aquí vamos. Como siempre, entonces comenzamos con nuestro calendario. Estamos en el mes de agosto. Recuerden que habíamos cambiado, ahora estamos en agosto y estamos todavía en el año 2020, ¿cierto? Ayer fue día martes 4, día martes 4 de agosto. Si ayer fue día martes, ¿cuál día vendrá hoy? Exacto, hoy es miércoles. Y si ayer fue 4 y le vamos a agregar uno más, 4 más 1, tenemos 4 más 1 sería 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 de agosto. Excelente. Pero tenemos que elegir 5 de agosto triángulo, 5 de agosto círculo o 5 de agosto cuadrado. ¿Cuál creen ustedes? Tenemos que seguir nuestro patrón para poder completar esta secuencia. Ayúdenme, comenzamos con triángulo. Triángulo, círculo, cuadrado. Triángulo, ¿cuál vendrá ahora? Exactamente, círculo. Muy bien. Por lo tanto, decimos así, hoy es miércoles 5 de agosto del año 2020. Veamos qué viene a continuación. Entonces, bienvenidos a nuestra tercera lección de aprendizaje. ¿Recuerdan lo que significaba tercera? Exactamente, tercera, número 3. 1, 2 y 3. Nuestra tercera lección de aprendizaje. Vamos a ver lo que aprendimos ayer. Dice, ayer aprendimos a combinar. ¿Recuerdan lo que significaba combinar? Perdón, combinar significaba mezclar, ¿cierto? Juntar. Números para formar, ¿qué número? El número 10. ¿Y cuáles son los que aprendimos ayer? Decíamos 7 y 3 también forman 10. 1 y 9 también forman 10. 2 y 8 también forman 10. Estos ya los habíamos visto, pero al revés. Habíamos dicho 9 más 1 y ahora decimos 1 más 9. Habíamos dicho 8 más 2 y ahora decimos 2 más 8. Son distintas, solo que los mismos números en distinto orden. Y nuestra meta de hoy es aprender a sumar números para hallar 10. Podremos escribir la ecuación numérica. Cada vez que leamos, vamos a ir escribiendo la ecuación numérica correspondiente, la que corresponde a lo que estamos viendo, ¿ok? Entonces vamos a sumar números para hallar el número 10 y vamos a escribir la ecuación numérica correspondiente a cada ejercicio que hagamos. Aquí vamos, comencemos. Nos dice aquí entonces, dice número 10. Tenemos unos ricos pastelitos de cumpleaños que necesitamos llegar, que este conjunto llegue a 10. Veamos primero cuántas tenemos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 y 6. Y tenemos que completar nuestra ecuación numérica que por ahora solamente tiene el signo más. ¿Cuál de estos 4 números creen ustedes que es el número 6? ¿Es este? No, ese es el 4. ¿Es este? No, ese es el 8. ¿Es este? Sí, muy bien. Este es. Entonces tenemos 6 pastelitos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 y 6. Pero para llegar al 10 le vamos a agregar más, porque tenemos que hacer, hay 10 invitados a nuestra fiesta. ¿Cuántos más necesitamos? ¿Necesitamos 4? ¿Necesitamos 8? ¿O necesitamos 2? Veamos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ayúdenme a agregarle más. 7, 8, 9 y 10. Ahora sí, comprobemos a ver cuántos tenemos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ahora sí tenemos un pastelito para cada invitado, pero tenemos que terminar nuestra ecuación numérica. Tenemos el 6 más el 4. ¿Cuál será el 4? ¿Este, este o este? Exactamente, este es el 4. Entonces dice así, 4, dice 6 más 4 es igual a qué número? Contemos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Es igual a el 10. Excelente. Vamos a escribir. Lo único que nos falta es el signo igual. Y ahora leemos nuestra ecuación numérica. 6 más 4 es igual a 10. Muy buen trabajo. Veamos nuestro siguiente ejercicio. En nuestra misma fiesta de cumpleaños, nunca pueden faltar los entretenidos globos para jugar, ¿cierto? Y también nos está diciendo que necesitamos 10 porque hay 10 invitados. Primero veamos cuántos ya tenemos. Ayúdenme a contar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ya tenemos 7. ¿Cuál de estos 4 números es el 7? ¿Es este? ¿Sí o no? No, ese es el 5. ¿Es este? Claro que no, este es el 3. ¿Es este? No, este es el 6. Por lo tanto, el único que nos queda es este. Aquí está nuestro amigo 7. Estamos completando nuestra ecuación numérica. 7 más. ¿Cuántos números cuántos globos más necesitamos para llegar al 10? Veamos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sigamos agregando. 7, 8, 9 y 10. Veamos, comprobemos si tenemos 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ahora sí. Entonces, ¿cuántos agregamos? 3. ¿Cuál de estos 3 números es el 3? ¿El de este de acá o este? Exactamente, ya todos saben cuál es el 3. Entonces, nuestra ecuación numérica dice 7 más 3 es 10. ¿Nos falta algo en la ecuación numérica? ¿Quién me puede decir qué es lo que falta? ¿Qué es lo que falta en nuestra ecuación numérica? A ver. Exactamente, nos falta el signo igual. Entonces, esta ecuación numérica se lee así. 7 más 3 es igual a 10. Vamos con la próxima. En ningún cumpleaños pueden faltar los regalos, ¿cierto? Y necesitamos juntar 10 regalitos. Ayúdenme a contar los que hay ya aquí. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 y 8. Tenemos que elegir cuál de estos 4 números es el 8. ¿Es este? No, claro que no. Este es el 2. ¿Es este? Tampoco, porque recién vimos que este es nuestro amigo el número 7. ¿Es este? Este sí es el número 8. Tenemos 8 regalitos. Para llegar al 10, ¿cuántos tenemos que agregar? Contemos otra vez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ups. 8, 9 y 10. Ahora sí. ¿Cuántos regalitos agregamos? Agregamos 1 y 2. ¿Cuál es el número 2 de los que tenemos acá abajo? Claro que sabemos que es este. Entonces, 8 regalitos más 2 regalitos nos dan nuestro conjunto número 10. ¿Y qué es nuevamente lo que nos falta? Solamente nos falta agregar el signo igual para completar nuestra ecuación numérica, que dice así: 8 más 2 es igual a 10. Veamos qué sigue en nuestro... un descanso, como siempre, en nuestra adivinanza del día. ¿Recuerdan? Yo leo y ustedes escuchan. Y después de eso leemos todos juntos. Pongan atención, voy a leer. Dice así: tengo agujas y no sé coser. Tengo números y no sé leer. ¿Están listos para leer conmigo? Dice adivinanza del día. Tengo agujas y no sé coser. Tengo números y no sé leer. ¿Quién soy? A ver, agujas esas que se usan para coser, pero no sabe coser. números, pero no sabe leer. Pregúntale a alguien en casa. A lo mejor alguien sabe. Parece que yo ya adiviné. Vamos a mover nuestro corazón para ver la respuesta. ¡Ta, ta, ta, tan! El reloj, claro. Esas son las agujas que indican la hora. Y aquí están los números. Es el reloj. Si ya sabían, excelente. Y a seguir trabajando. Dice ahora a conectar lo aprendido. En todas las fiestas de cumpleaños siempre tenemos nuestro gorrito para celebrar, pero tenemos que juntar 10 en cada una. Aquí solo tenemos uno. Me tienen que ayudar a contar cuántas tenemos que agregar. Tenemos una, tenemos que agregar una, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve y 10. Veamos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Muy bien. Y ahora acá tenemos 1, 2. Ayúdenme a contar. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 y 10. Ups, y no podemos olvidar que tenemos que escribir nuestra ecuación. Esta dice que hay un gorrito rojo más, ¿cuántos morados hay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Por lo tanto, dice 1 más 9 es igual a 10. Excelente. ¿Y el de acá abajo qué dice? ¿Cuántos hay? 1 y 2. 2 más, ¿cuántos morados? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ahí sí. 2 más 8 es igual a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 y 10 otra vez. Y ahora acá abajo tenemos 1, 2, 3. ¿Cuántos nos faltan? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 y 10 gorritos de cumpleaños. 10, eso quiere decir entonces, ¿cuántos rojos hay? 1, 2, 3, tenemos 3 rojos, más 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 morados, es igual a 10. Y por acá abajo entonces tenemos 1, 2, 3, 4. Ups, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 y 10. Y nuestra ecuación numérica sería, ¿cuántos rojos hay? 1, 2, 3, 4 rojos más 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 rojos más 6 es igual a 10. Vamos por el siguiente. Veamos cuántos gorritos rojos hay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 y 10. Y nuestra ecuación numérica sería, vamos a cambiar para escribir, sería entonces 5 más 1, 2, 3, 4 y 5 también es igual a 10. Nuevamente, excelente. No, ya llegó la hora de despedirnos así de rápido. Vamos a ver entonces qué fue lo que aprendimos hoy. Hoy aprendimos a poner en práctica todo lo aprendido sobre combinaciones que hemos practicado todos estos días. Las combinaciones para formar el número 10, como por ejemplo 1 y 9 forman 10, 2 y 8 forman 10, 3 y 7 forman 10, 4 y 6 forman 10, 5 y 5 forman 10. Excelente trabajo, chicas y chicos. Es todo por hoy. A practicar en casa, como siempre les digo, con sus juguetes, con los legos, con la comida, con galletas. Pueden practicar cómo formar 10. Hasta mañana.